If somebody only accepts you within their life because you believe what they believe, that is what we call a conditional love. And again, it's their choice, okay? Their life, their choice. If they want to reject you, if they want to abandon the relationship, if they want to cut you off, block you on every single device because you differ in an opinion, that is their right to do so. However, please do not get this twisted. And this is going to free somebody out there right now, especially in the political climate that we're in, where all the lefties are just cutting off all their centrist or right-leaning so-called friends and so-called family members. I have seen countless messages of people being abandoned, and this is in my own content on TikTok specifically, where a lot of content is going viral. I have seen countless stories. I'm now talking about in the hundreds where people are being cut off by so-called friends, best friends since kindergarten, okay? People are abandoning ship because an individual voted use their freedom to vote. Let's start there. Use their freedom to vote independently in a nation where you have that right. Now, I was born in a country where we had a dictator, an actual dictator for 26 years who would not leave office actually. We lived in an actual totalitarian system with 80% unemployment to this day. So anybody who wants to have that conversation, don't even get at me. I'm not the one. I'm not going to feed into it, okay? But back to the point at hand. If an individual is showing you that they only will accept you, and most of us, this is the problem. We cowered to it because some of us had a sense, like me with I have a very close kin, close, literally same DNA, right? Close, same genetics, closest kin, who now doesn't want to talk to me because I didn't vote the same as him. And it was all love. It was all good before that. And I had inclinations that he did. And he would talk his talk when it came to his politics. And I would be silent because I was afraid. But at a certain point, I said, I can't do this anymore. Enough is enough. I have to come out of this conservative closet, or even this, centrist closet. Because even if I look at my views, it's like, it's not even, these radically, it's like the left has gone so far left that if you're in the middle, you now look like you're in the right. That's how crazy this has gotten. If you were like a Democrat in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, today's Democrat has gone so far left that you look like you're on the right, and the right side is the only one that's actually making sense anymore. That's how crazy things have gotten. And we're having individuals who've taken that dive, taken that leap into, really, I call it a cult. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. I don't mean that metaphorically. I did an entire video on just breaking down the similarities, or the exact parallels, not similarities, the parallels of the woke mindset or the woke culture and cults, right? Cult and culture, one and the same. You see, huh? See how that works? So when it comes to this thing of, again, relationships are always a choice. Simple as that. Relationships are a choice, even family relationships. And we're getting to see that. And unfortunately, for many of us, we didn't care. Like, we didn't care if you voted for Kamala. I have yet to meet a genuine, middle or, Republican who was willing to send somebody, life-ending threats because they were left-leaning. There'll be arguments. There'll be "you're stupid" or whatever. There may be insults, but not an actual retaliation in that same sense, right? I am yet to see it. And I was on the left. You understand? When I came to the state, I was on the left. I was a leftist, and I looked to the right as the enemy, as racist, as this and that, when I was, misinformed, miseducated, and falling for the propaganda machine. But now I'm in a place where I really have gotten to see it. Overnight, we've gotten to see the retaliation, the backlash, the ridicule, the straight up hatred from people who called others so-called friends and families, mothers and daughters. Imagine like a mother looking at her daughter as the enemy because she didn't vote for the same thing she did. And the mother voted on the basis of a lie. On the basis of a lie. I'm not going to have the argument with you, but you can do the research for yourself. Oh, we have no more right to our body. Excuse me? You mean the thing that is based upon state law? The thing that will always be state law? Because the courts can't do anything at the highest level about it, so it's actually not federal? Oh, you mean the thing that Kamala was basically lying about? This ain't a thing about Kamala, but it's you went for a lie and you allowed a lie to split you from your own child? Are you kidding me? You allowed a lie to separate you from somebody you claim to love, when these people show you their true colors, it is a blessing in disguise. And that's really my message here. When you see that these individuals are willing to cut you off at the drop of a hat, you are better off for it. These are individuals who are possessed in the mind. They are possessed. They are vexed. They're gone. The person who once was there is no longer there. It's not that they're an evil person. It's that they have allowed evil to overcome them. And so it is living through them. This is a parasitic force of nature that has taken these individuals over to where they can't even look at their daughter, their son, their own mother, their own father and say, oh, we can have a difference in opinion and there can still be love here. We can actually have debate. We can have discourse and conversation. But instead, it's I hate you. Get away from me. You're lesser than me. I'm cutting you off. That's how deep this has gotten. And I say when somebody shows you their true character, their true nature, who they really are at the core, make your decision in that moment as they have made theirs. Which is, you know what? It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard, but don't look to argue them back and forth. Why would you want somebody in your life who doesn't want the true version of you? Why would you want that? And many of them, I won't say many, some of them will come around. Just like we did. A lot of us came from the other side. A lot of us were, we thought that was the side of compassion, the side of care, the side of loving, the side of all this type of, the rhetoric that's used, the messaging that that is perpetuated and we believe in. So there was a time when we fell for the same thing. We were believing the exact same thing. And then there had to come a time when we finally accepted truth and we moved accordingly. Not off of emotion, but off of logic, off of reason, and off of truth. Then there is this moment in time where those who we are no longer in resonance with and alignment with are going to be fallen to the wayside. They're going to push themselves away naturally. This is a natural part of the process. Some will return, some will not. All of this is a part of your journey. I know it's painful. I never used to understand how could siblings not see each other for 20 years. I didn't understand that when I was a kid. I was like, there's no way you can't not see your family. There's no way you can't not be with your family. But then I came to realize, that's not really your family. They may be the people that raise you, but if their love is conditional to the point where your political stance is what separates you, that's not love. That's not anywhere near. That's the opposite of love. That's the opposite of tolerance. The thing that they claim to have an abundance of and a monopoly on, tolerance, that's the opposite of tolerance. So this is a message for those who may be going through something like this. I'm sorry that it has to be this way, and I empathize with you. There are many that I've lost in the exact same way, but it is freedom on the other side when you can accept that. Raise your kids, raise your family, find yourself a beautiful, wonderful partner who has the same values, who has the same love in their heart. Somebody who wants to actually do best for yourself and others. Build up your own true family. Raise them kids up to truly be loving and truly be tolerant, not the fake and false version of it. Those who can accept if they have different opinions and make it okay for them to have different opinions. Challenge them to think for themselves. This is the way that we change our society. This is how we change our culture. It's the only way. We can't go the way that they're going. We can't either try to pull them in or retaliate against them. They're gone. Right now where they are, they're gone. The program is so deep, they're not looking to get rational debates. They're not looking for conversation. They're looking for a fight. They're looking for a war. You got to let them folks go, and they self-destruct and self-implode, and they have to put up with that. They got to heal. Some lady, she dropped a comment. She said, this is going to lead to a lot of people's spiritual awakening. Absolutely. This is going to lead to a spiritual awakening. When you've abandoned everything around you and you're so caught up in the silo, it's like when I was a drug addict at 19 years old, I finally started seeing my surroundings and like, what am I becoming? I had to be isolated in a certain way in order for me to overcome where I once was, to be unburdened by what was once burdening and burdened by what was once unburdened and all that type of stuff. Like, seriously. I had to be isolated. I had to be alone and to realize the faults of my actions. I had to take accountability. These individuals, they're not there yet. They're so filled with hatred and anger and resentment, and they project all of those aspects onto that. It's a projection. This is their own hurt manifest. This is their own trauma manifest. And so we love them. We love them from a distance. sometimes the most distance, maybe a whole nother state or whatever it is, or a whole nother country. And if they don't want contact with you, accept that. That's their choice. That's okay. I don't need you to validate who I am. You don't make me what I am. You don't make or break me. I'm not going to stay bitter and resentful to where you control me through anger and hatred so I become just like you. And you're not going to control me through the need for your validation and my pleading for your acceptance. I let go of both of those. I cut those stories. They're done, finito, finished, period.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a hardening heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a